am Jim Britton, and I have the honor of welcoming you this evening as principal of Hoffman Estates High School. I am so glad that you chose to come here tonight to see all these wonderful musicians behind me. I have to tell you, there is something about music. I did not tell Mr. Erickson this, so I will confess this now to him in front of an audience of hundreds. The other night I was here with my four and a half year old boy, Patrick, and we broke into the music room. We did. He loves music. He loves coming to the school, and if he hears music, he just goes to it. So I took him in there, and his eyes lit up. He saw all the instruments laying there. He saw the drums, and of course, all 4.5-year-olds love drums, right? But he saw the strings, and he saw the brass. And there's something about music that stirs the soul. There's something about music that brings beauty into the world. And that's why you are here tonight. And that's why I thank you for bringing your sons and daughters to this school this evening to share with us that beauty, that wonderment of what it's like to be in a 4.5-year-old young soul and discovering music. And I tell you, if you want your sons and daughters to be successful in high school, keep them involved in the music program. Some of our brightest students, most talented in many different ways, are involved in our music program. As I said, there is something about music that stirs the soul and brings people together to celebrate the beauty of the world. And I hope tonight you experience that. And it begins tonight with the 7th grade band, brought to you by Mrs. Gomberg. Take it away.
Should have figured it would be off, right? Thank you all for coming tonight. We appreciate you coming out to support your kids and music, and we hope you enjoy this program tonight. While the percussion changes instruments, I thought it might be interesting to you to hear a little bit about why this song is called Castlegate 1924. The composer wrote some program notes. The coal mining town of Castlegate, Utah was established in the early 1800s, and on March 8, 1924, a series of 3 explosions rocked the town, claiming the lives of over 170 people, including teenagers, immigrants, and adults working in the mines, and making it one of the worst mining disasters in the United States history. The piece Castlegate's 1924 tells the story of this disaster and also reflects the legend left behind by these miners. Enjoy Castlegate 1924.
This concert is one of our favorites. Maybe mine personally more than most of the students. We still haven't fixed the upholstery in the seats here, so I know it gets a little long, but nonetheless, we have some students about whom we like to brag because we think our band program, our orchestra program, and our choral program at Hoffman are wonderful programs, but they are made so by the students who are in them. You heard Mr. Britton say earlier that the students in our music program are involved in lots of different things. They do things in addition to their music. And oftentimes that is a misnomer in the junior highs, that you have to be much more individualized. You must choose a discipline or two, and that is all you can do. We don't mean it derogatorily when we say that here at Hoffman we offer the country buffet of education. We allow our students to do an awful lot of things. Seated in front of you representing the Hoffman Music Department tonight is our premier band. We have 69 students in this band. We have 2 other bands. In the choir and the orchestra, we have several different levels of ability, just like you would see in an athletic arena. It's nice to see this so full, by the way, for a music event. This is wonderful. But we have the opportunity to let you know, and parents, this is so important because the rumors fly, and we just want you to know other things can be done besides music. So we're going to ask our students who are involved in a variety of different things to stand up so that you can see, as you kind of look around, wow, there's a little bit of activity going on. And it's really what makes Hoffman Estates High School a great place, because our students have the opportunity to experience so much and do so many different things. So within the music department, we have students not only here in the band, but we have some of our students that participate in the choir. We also have some students that participate in the madrigal singers or the recorder consort or the brass ensemble, all of which culminate with a big madrigal dinner in December. All of you that are in the choir program and madrigals, would you please stand for a moment? We'll ask that you hold your applause until the very end, otherwise we'll get really long. Okay? We have a lot of students in our band here that participate in the drama productions. They are in the fall play or the spring play or in the musical. They are on stage, they are behind stage, they help build the sets, they're in the musical pit. All of you that do the drama productions here at Hoffman, would you please stand? There is an honor society for students involved in drama called Thespians. It's a National Honor Society for drama students. Please remain standing if you are in the Thespian chapter here. We have a lot of students in our program that participate in athletics, whether it be the fall athletics, the winter, or the spring. All of you that do athletics in our program, would you please stand? If you participate in more than one sport, do it for more than one season, would you remain standing? We have students in our band that participate in student council. They're on the yearbook staff, they're on the newspaper staff, or they help write the Lit magazine. Would you please all stand? We have students in our band that are in the flag corps, the pom squad, the dance club, or orchesis. Would you please stand? We have students who participated in the fall in the variety show, or participated this spring in the dance show, or maybe they participated in both. If you did that, would you please stand? We have students who are on our competitive academic teams. They're known as forensics, which is the speech team. We have a math team here. We have Scholastic Bowl. We have WISE, which is a science competitive team. Would you folks all please stand? We have here at Hoffman foreign language clubs representing each of the foreign languages that we have. Our students can participate in that. We also have some students here on the chess team. Would all of you please stand? All of these students have an academic load that they must maintain. If they maintain a certain academic grade point average with the academic load that they take, they are invited to participate in the National Honor Society. All of you that are NHS members, would you please stand? We have students who are members of the Business Professionals Association, the Global Awareness Relief Organization, the SAVE organization, which is related to our ecology program and recycling, and we also have students involved in the Fashion Club. Would you please stand? We have students here that are members of the SAD organization, that's Students Against Destructive Decisions. We have students that participate in the Best Buddies program, which has to do with our physical education department working with the special ed students. We also have some students that participate in an organization called Partners, which helps our Special Olympics teams as they prepare for, as an example, this upcoming end of the month Amy Rudolph basketball tournament. And we have some students that help guide the freshmen when they come into Hoffman around the building and give them advice throughout the year. They are called Fresh Mentors. Would all of you please stand? In addition to that, we have an organization here called H2O. It is a student organization for those that would like to increase their awareness of Christianity in the same way that the Fellowship of Christian Athletes is available to our athletic students. The student body as a whole can participate in H2O. And we also have students in our band that are members of the theater guides. They pass out programs at our various events that happen in the auditorium and in its facility throughout the year. Would you folks please stand? Okay, I'm through my list. Now I'm going to ask that all of our... Okay, you're clapping because I'm done. Somebody in that band is hoping that when I finish, they pick the right number of minutes and seconds that I was going to talk. That's what they're hoping. We had the Super Bowl a few days ago. Well, now we have an over-under for Erickson's windiness. All of you that stood at least once, would you please stand? Now, here's the other one. If you stood more than once, stay standing. If you stood more than once, stay standing. If you stood more than twice, if you stayed up more than twice, more than thrice, that's 3. More than 4, more than 5. Wow. I'm not going to tell you. And it's not news to their parents, because their parents are running them around hither and yon, or they're handing them the car keys and saying, "You're going to school again." Well, they're here at school, moms and dads, they're here at school. And that is such a nice thing to know, as opposed to wherever else they could be. And we are grateful that they are here as a part of our music program and making life at Hoffman Estates High School that much better. And it works for our orchestra program, and it works for our choir program. So please, when you hear sometime, "Hey, you can't do that at Hoffman," you say, "Oh no, I saw with my own eyes a picture's worth 1,000 words." And Erickson probably had about 1,000. But that picture was well worth it. So please, if for some reason there's been a challenge getting that registration in for the music class, we have an absolutely wonderful guidance department. They will work with you. They will make it happen, that you can get that schedule changed and you can be involved in the music program. Because there is nothing, as Mr. Britton told you, more rewarding than what our students do here at Hoffman by staying involved. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being supportive of your sons and daughters. We will move on to the next portion of our program, which is a medley of Broadway tunes that all of you parents, I'm sure, know. Students have a little bit harder time knowing these. Broadway Spectacular by John Higgins.